Oh man.
How was 2019?
It was an awesome ride.
I keep going back to our mission statement. We empower every person and organization and plan to achieve more. It just doesn't mean our products. Bringing people together is an important part of what we do in our technology and what we do as people in the community. We do it in code and we do it in words, in our events and our engagements. And I think that's super important.
There's something to be said for being able to approach things not from a business perspective or a bottom line perspective, but from the, we've got some space and we've got time. What can we do that actually makes a difference? We've set up tours and opportunities for students to sit down with engineers and designers and project managers and talk about the work that they do.
Our ability to impact, like a gross impact on the world to make a better place. One of the most direct paths that we can draw is education.
For these kids to just come in and get a whole tour of a facility to sit down and spend like a day here, you can see how excited they are just to be in the building. And the fact that we among Microsoft, we have a garage that's open.
And they come in and they see this room with art and creativity and just this mishmash of different equipment and areas that they can experience, and it is mind-blowing for them.
I've really enjoyed working with Teals. I think it's probably been the highlight of my week every week. I think it's such a cool thing that Microsoft Philanthropies exists and puts all this money into trying to create this partnership among different companies in tech to try and inspire and create change so that kids are given equal opportunities. There are a lot of kids at a lot of different schools across both Canada and the US that don't get access to computer science and then maybe go off into the workforce or go to university never having learned anything about computer science. I think it's really, really going to change the landscape of what tech might look like in the next 20 years.
In Vancouver this year, we showed a couple of very innovative ways that we're changing the way software is made. And one is with Dynamics 365 Guides, where we are using a tool that allows anybody to author, a guide with holograms.
When we started working on guides, it was pretty secret. HoloLens 2 hadn't been announced yet, it hadn't been released yet. But when we went to public preview, when guides became public, and now it's what we call generally available, so people can buy it and use it, it really gave us the chance to open our doors and let people come through and get hands-on with the product, let them meet the team. That's really important to me when we do these events, that it's the actual engineers and designers that make the product that get to show it off to the local community. And I had the opportunity to host the guides demo at the BC Tech Summit this year. We had some awesome people come through, including the Premier of the province, John Horgan. When you can kind of step back for a second and be like, wow, look what we did in the last year. It's really amazing because we're building a new category.
And then you take something that the Coalition has done with Gears and taking a video game and really now being recognized for how inclusive they are and including more than just your standard gaming stereotype.
2019 was big for the Coalition because we shipped 2 Gears games. We shipped Gears Pop on mobile in August and we shipped Gears 5 in September, and shipping 2 games in the same year is action-packed. Gears Pop on mobile for the first time and getting over 1 million players in the first weekend. When we look at Gears 5, the reception it received critically and with fans, being able to go out to different events and shows and talk to them directly, and you get to hear their stories about what Gears means to them. It's really incredible, actually, because you realize that the game goes beyond being just a distraction or a piece of entertainment that actually allows them to connect to their family members and stay connected, and it's how they meet people, and people are having Gears of War weddings and these sorts of things. And so it's that shared experience story that really resonates with me and really drives why we make Gears. And then we want people to be able to not only, now that they're in, we want them to be their authentic self, and how can we do that? And we wanted to put a pride representation in, and when we dug deeper into that, we realized, well, it's not just the rainbow, there's actually 20, and we're working right now on getting the 20th in. And so it's that thing is okay, how do we get people in? How do we get them playing and enjoying what they're doing, and how do we let them represent who they actually are?
When we're trying to empower people and groups of people, it means understanding who people are. Let's actually, break down some of those walls in our own perspective so that we can build products that are more relevant to more people. One of the events that was really memorable for me was the set of talks and panels on neurodiversity. The fact that that event kicked off our program here, our announcement for the hiring initiative for folks who are on the ASD spectrum. In that room, we're looking at one another and at ourselves as colleagues who are kind of on this journey together. It helps to create this atmosphere in the room that this is a journey that we're all on together. And I think ultimately that's kind of what we want to create with these kinds of events and talks.
At Microsoft was new for us this year. There's a lot of talk in the tech space about the specific work of the technologies themselves and what they do, how we work with them. But what we weren't seeing was as many conversations around the social impact that technology is having. And Brad's really passionate about that, and so we launched this series at Microsoft that he helped us open in the spring. We continued the series in the fall and did a second one on AI. It was great to get them off the ground, and we're looking forward to continuing into 2020, probably talking about technology to mitigate climate change and something on quantum.
Make It Forward was a fantastic example of give people a little bit of a push, give people a little bit of a reason to come out and use the equipment and use the space and like I said, practice some of those skills they might not necessarily get to practice throughout the year.
We jump back to sumobots. People get to take a tackle at constructing robots and program them to battle or race. And
every event that we do in here has an element of getting people comfortable with the mindset of hacking and prototyping and fast failure and rapid iteration, and everything that we do drives towards getting people ready and comfortable and skilled up to participate in the hackathon. It's easy to come into work every day and follow the routine and work with your team and work with your local environment, and what the garage does and what we're trying to emphasize is to break things out of that normal, get out of those paths.
How do you kind of make that wall into a window or a door? How do you make that brand into like a relationship, actually inviting people into the door the same way that you would at home, right? If you have like a home on the corner and it's like maybe even the nicest home in the neighborhood, like once in a while put some lights out and like open up the doors and like say hello and like answer people's questions.
That's living and breathing our mission statement and our values with each other and within the community, and I think that's what I look forward to next year, is to continuing to get better at doing that.